Welcome back.
Hey. Here we go again.
Yeah, welcome back to Talk Our Way Out. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. Yeah.
We're really trying here, guys. So it'd be really nice if you guys could help us out. And yeah, that's all I got. So we need to talk about Travis Scott.
Yeah,
Because this whole situation is wild to me.
It's crazy.
Not really much to update as far as facts go. I think everyone's heard the headlines since they're everywhere. People died at the Travis Scott concert. What the That to me is absurd. The crowd was crazy, as Travis Scott concerts typically go. People were getting smushed at the barricades. People were tripping and falling. And when people would fall, other people fall on them and they get stepped on too. People started passing out, cardiac arrest, hundreds of people in the hospital. And I think I heard, I don't know, somewhere said 8, but I also heard somewhere say 11 people were dead. I don't know which one is the accurate number at the moment. But the fact that people have died at all,
yeah,
come on. What? That's so messed up and obviously sad. Like, you know,
yeah, well, that's
families. What the hell?
Fucked up vibe. Because like, have you ever been into like deep in the mosh pit of a concert?
See, that's the thing. I've never been in a rap concert, but I've been in a mosh pit before.
Yeah, I've gone to heavy metal concerts right in like the
Lamb
actual
of God, Metallica. Like, I've seen shows.
Yeah, when you fall over, people pick you up because they all know if you don't get picked up, you could die.
Yeah.
Like, it's understanding that it's you got to look out for everyone.
Now, does metal culture and the metal fans understand mosh pits more because it's been decades upon decades of people doing this? So like there is that culture?
Because I don't know. I feel like rap culture is just like, I don't know, it's more aggressive, where metal is like, it's perceived as aggressive, but because they're all there to have fun and they want to be able to have fun tomorrow as well, it's the understanding of, okay, I can like thrash out, but as soon as I see someone struggling, you gotta fix that situation.
Well, I would also say too, like, you know, you think about when you were in high school, well, especially like, I'm not talking like the 80s, so not for the old heads, but like for people like us, when we were in high school, who were the kids that were into metal? They weren't the jocks. They were the nerds.
Yeah.
They were the skinny outcast kids that no one liked their type of music, so they just hung out together. Those are usually nice people. They've been through some shit. They've been bullied. They've dealt with bullshit their whole life. People didn't like their hair, their clothes, whatever, their music.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be mean to each other. They're trying to embrace their culture and their people. So why would they be aggressive like assholes that everyone thinks, you know, the cool kids?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like people at those metal shows I've been to, the moshing can kind of get out of hand sometimes.
It gets crazy.
Yeah. I mean, especially for smaller people that, you know, especially smaller women getting trampled if they're in there by themselves or they don't have like a big boyfriend to protect them like that. They can get pretty reckless. But like, come on, guys. Like, even at music festivals, like I've sat in the front row of a music festival with hundreds of, 1,000 people behind me pushing, trying to get closer.
Yeah, you can feel that push behind you.
Yeah, you can feel it, but like everyone's still like keeping it relatively chill. Like I'm strong, but I'm not 1,000 people strong. Like if they wanted to squish me, they would have squished me, but it was fine. We all stood there and had a good time. People are passing out at this show. Clearly there's something going on there. And like a lot of people have been saying, who's the biggest person to blame? Obviously Travis Scott. It's his show. It's his culture. He perpetuates it. I don't know. Those are my quick thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, I think a big one to look at is like you said with the culture. Yeah, I could hear it was a little loud. Sorry about that. Coming in a little hot. But immediately as they open the doors, people are rushing the gates, blowing through them, and there's more people in there than what they were actually supposed to have. More people in than the tickets were. So immediately the venue has allowed more people in than they're supposed to. So Travis Scott, for me, his entire job is to get everybody that's in there to go fucking mental. They spent all this money. His music is made to, like, you bang your head, you go play sports, you do what you get going. So, like, kind of when the pandemonium goes and everybody's yelling, like people, when you have the video, you see them yelling, "We need help, we need help." To him, he's got his earpiece in, he's singing, he's like, everybody's going fucking insane. This is awesome. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Because he doesn't know, because it came out after. He didn't even know that anything bad happened until he was at the after party. He was at Dave & Buster's at an after party with Drake, and he got contacted by his agent saying everything was happening. He left, and that's when he kind of realized what was going on.
Highly questionable.
Yeah, but like there was a video of him with the fucking ambulance going off in the background of like he can literally see the ambulance going off.
He actually does pause the show 1 minute and be like, hey, someone needs help there. Like there's limp bodies getting carried out. So him not knowing something was going on.
No, I mean to the level. Because any music festival, if you think about it, like take for instance Coachella. How many people are doing drugs during that? How many ambulances are present? How many paramedics? Issues always happen at music festivals because there's so many people around. I'm not meaning that he didn't realize somebody might be hurt. I mean, he didn't realize the severity. He probably didn't anticipate 8 people are dead.
Yeah.
So I got something stuck in my throat here.
I don't think anyone anticipated casualties. And I'll give him credit to that point. I don't think anyone ever expects casualties. You know, you don't expect me, I'm going to go to this festival. Hopefully I'm not one of the 5 people that dies. Like, no one's thinking that. So I will agree to that point. But one thing that I also have seen online is a lot of people highlighting the fact that how far is too far? Because, yeah, he wants to get everybody hyped. He wants to have this excitement and this level and keep everything up. But at what cost? There's other concerts that get hyped too. He's not the only one. He's not the most hyped person you've ever seen. Yet those people have the wherewithal to be like, hey, guys, turn on the lights, pause for a second, stop pushing. You know, Linkin Park is a good example. Those guys have been going hard for years. That doesn't happen to them. There's videos online surfacing of them being like, guys, stop pushing. If you guys keep pushing, the show's over. Like, you guys can have fun, do your thing, go crazy, but don't hurt people. That's the line that they draw in the sand. And that's the line that lots of musicians and entertainers draw in the sand. And Travis Scott's just like, throw your hands up. Like, he doesn't care. He clearly doesn't. Yeah, and he has a long track record of not giving a fuck about people's
I feel like
health.
He just wants to keep that vibe going. He doesn't want people to go home and like a week later be like, oh yeah, that concert got canceled kind of thing. Like, oh, that sucks. I won't go to that again. Like he doesn't want that to
I'm
happen.
definitely on your side. Like when you see like Chester Bennington, when he just stop it, it's a moment when you see it on TV where you're like, okay, he cares more about this than the music, and it kind of makes him endearing to you. But not everybody's like that, and that's the whole point of having a production behind you. So the security, the production putting on the festival, their job is to make sure everybody gets home safe. His job is to make sure everybody's jumping up off the ground. So if he's going as far as he can, pushing the line as far as he can, there has to be a safeguard behind that. And that's where it's partially his fault. 100%. He wanted that to happen. He wanted them to go as... My throat is off. I'm so sorry, guys. It keeps dropping on me. But he wants them to go as crazy as possible. But there has to be somebody else behind him that says, this is too much. This is how, like when you see the video of the people going up to security saying, hey, people are dying. There's somebody, like he's passed out. He's having a heart attack. He can't breathe. We need to do something. Those are the people that they have nothing else on the line. If they shut down the show, security guard shut down show is what's on the headline. If Travis Scott shuts it down, it's his name. And as much as that shouldn't matter, and he's not a great person, I'm not arguing for him as a person, but as an artist trying to do it, you have to have your production has to have a kind of background check on you. Especially if like you said, he's a track record of doing this. So then you're just going to keep letting him do it until this happens and then be like, oh, well, how can we believe that he did this?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It definitely seems like of course it's his job to he's the entertainer, right? Like he wants to hype the crowd. But it also seems like he was brushing security off for the most part of like, there was clearly people trying to get a hold of him and he wasn't really doing much about it. And then again, like when there's that many people in the actual crowd, the security guards can't even do anything at that point. Like they're just basically stuck trying to fix something and they're just a part of the crushing crowd at that point. Like it's just, it's wild all around.
Yeah, when there's no distinction between a mosh pit and the actual crowd, the entire crowd is now a mosh pit. You can't control it. And like you said, like in a metal concert, somebody falls down, they pick them up. But when there's no room and the second that person falls, you're pushed and everybody's getting pushed and nobody has that chance to pick them up.
Yeah.
That's when it doesn't matter how good of a person you are. You're like, I can't help.
Yeah, as soon as you go down, you're like, if you're not getting back up, like, oh man, you're a goner.
I 100% agree with the notion that Travis Scott can't do everything, that he has to hire people in place and delegate those jobs to those people. And should they fail personally, is that his fault? I mean, not entirely. I think there's accountability on each person there. I can agree to that point. The part that really grinds my gears is that he doesn't even look out for his own staff. He tells his fans, rush the stage. Fuck the security guards.
Yeah,
blow past the security guards.
I find crazy.
They can't hold us all back. Get on the stage with me. He tells his fans, hey, climb that banister and jump off 2 stories high. Who's going to help you? Do it anyway. Like, he encourages his fans to harm themselves, to beat up some dude because he touched his shoes. Yeah, fans shouldn't be reaching up and touching entertainers. I'm not saying that's a good idea. But to incite violence, hey, go beat this guy up? No. Grab your security guard, tell this guy to grab him, or do what everybody does. Don't do that. Get mad at him, scold him, mock him. Don't tell someone to go kick his ass in the crowd and beat the shit out of some kid.
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain, obviously, demographic where these are all probably younger teenagers. Probably, how old's Travis Scott? 22 maybe? I don't know. I have actually no idea how old he is, but I assume he's in his early 20s.
Early 20s, yeah.
His fans are probably about the same age. And, well, predominantly, I'm not saying all his fans. His fans are probably about the same age to like middle school. That's probably his demographic in today's market. When you were in high school to middle school, your willingness to do reckless things that are absolutely dangerous and not okay at all because someone thought you were cool, let alone a superstar, is so high. When I was in elementary school, there was this kid that thought I was cool, and I made a joke about him cutting his finger off with safety scissors, and he literally took safety scissors to the tip of his thumb and cut it off just because he thought I was cool and wanted my acknowledgement.
Yeah, impressionable.
And to think that I was just some kid in his class, and we're talking about a millionaire, a superstar, one of the biggest entertainers in this era. He's just going to get these kids to do whatever the hell he wants for a joke because it's crazy and cool. But at what point is it like, okay, you're also an adult. You can't be doing this anymore. Yeah, your concerts are crazy. You have a reputation, but you're literally putting people in harm. You're harming your fans. You're harming your staff that you employ. What other company, business, anything gets away with being like, hey guys, I hired you all to come in, take care of like a restaurant. I work at a restaurant. Hey, fuck your server. Just go punch them in the face if they don't get you drinks or they cut you off. Fuck it. Oh yeah, just deal with it, guys. Like, no one does that. Yeah. That's not okay in any industry, but it's okay in this industry apparently. And not even necessarily this industry, at Travis Scott shows. So is he accountable? 100%. Is he the only one accountable? Of course not. Apparently Drake was there too, and he knows what's up, and he decided to get the crowd going even crazier, and then he dipped. Is he responsible? I think he's got something to pay as well. But like, I don't know. I just think the whole thing's wild. I think there's a lot of people that really dropped the ball. News says that there's lots of lawsuits coming these days.
Oh, I could imagine.
Now, does it make sense to pay out millions to like 100,000 people or whatever, 50,000 people that showed up? No, but like, I mean, those families should be taken care of.
Yeah, I know Travis Scott had posted, obviously. Travis Scott didn't do it. His lawyer posted on Instagram, my prayers are with you, blah, blah, blah. But he's covering the funeral costs, which is pretty fucking, that's
$5,000.
the weirdest thing to even like see somebody type is like, I'm so sorry, I'm going to cover their costs. That's like mafia shit. Like after you kill somebody being like, don't worry, I got you. Like we're good here. But it like with what you're saying though, it kind of goes into the social media reality of now where as much as like right now, this is it looks bad on him, everything happened, but he just gained so much publicity. It's all over the internet. I don't think this is a good thing, but long term, this could, if there was no deaths, that's the big thing. If there was no death, all he would be doing is making money.
Yeah,
inciting all the violence, doing all this terrible shit because of the fact that we would be like everybody would be posting like, I can't believe he would say that about that guy doing the shoot. And it creates a false reality where he thinks that's an okay thing because the ends justify the means. And like you said, it shouldn't. life should matter more than making the extra couple bucks, getting those extra couple followers.
Yeah, well, I feel like he's an entertainer, right? So he's pushing boundaries in a sense, right? Like how far can I take all of this to become the best entertainer as possible? And then in this instance, he has just pushed it a bit too far. So now it's rather than just talking about all these crazy stories, like, oh, he's done this before and he's done this, and it's like, oh no, now it's a track record. Now it's like, oh shit, no, he really has done this and he has done this, and it's kind of all adding up to, oh well, this kind of makes sense. This kind of vibe, that makes sense. Like it's just this perpetuation of what he's pushing forward, and he's definitely taken it a little bit too far, I feel.
Now, so we know that this is a bad thing, and we have a pretty good idea of why this happened. It's crazy, whatever. But there was one person that had a take on this story that absolutely blew my fucking mind. So for those of you guys that don't know, there's this anti-vaxxer that's very infamous in Canada right now. He's going to all these places, getting himself arrested, preaching to all of the anti-COVID conspiracy people. And that's cool. Like, whatever, you're anti-vax, I don't give a shit. But this guy, after all these people died, he says that they died because of the vaccine. Can we take a moment of silence for that stupidity?
I've been really reluctant to talk about this guy because like he just doesn't deserve the day of light of any publication. He's just a fucking loser.
Okay, I know.
He's just enjoying his 15 minutes of fame.
I know Kyle has something he wants to say, but before
No, I don't at all. This is the only time me and you are on the exact same page, the same line, the same word, the same letter. I've never agreed with you more than I do right this second.
I was so triggered when I said it, and he goes on. He's like, think about it, guys. This is an outdoor event. What do you mean they can't breathe? There's fresh air everywhere. He's saying that
full of it.
All these people just suddenly got cardiac arrest when they were around each other. Obviously, it's the vaccine. First off, let's get the obvious out of the way. If cardiac arrest was somehow a result of getting the vaccine, we're basically saying that everybody that was there that went cardiac arrest, they synced up when they got their vaccines, when they got their second dose, so that all of their symptoms and reactions to said vaccine would line up perfectly in a half an hour window at a fucking concert that they all knew they were all going to be at. What? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Are you serious? Like, it's one thing to like be anti-vax, but to take a tragedy that happened, like he could have been like, oh, this train crashed and 100 people died. Too bad they all got the vaccine to get a ticket. What? This guy's a fucking idiot. I cannot, like, I've just ignored him for the most part because most of the things he's talking about is just like, you either believe the science or you don't. You either believe what your doctor and what the media say or you don't. You either have your views on whatever. And that's fine. You want to go to protest? That's fine. Do your thing. Free speech. I do agree with that, even when it's, pretty brutal sometimes. But this is the one take he had that I was just like, dude, you're taking this way too far. Whatever political beliefs you've had, if you're going to try and push them on a tragedy where like a 10-year-old or something died, what?
Yeah.
This guy's a piece of shit. I can't stand him.
Well, there was even literally, I've been hearing about protests that are supposed to be happening at the Vancouver airport. And I was like, oh, great. Like anti-vaxxers at the airport. Everyone's supposed to get there early because there's going to be people driving around super slow to try and back everything up. This guy was fucking behind it. I was like, are you serious? Like,
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He's like, at this moment, he's kind of imploding on himself because he's kind of, the entire time he stayed consistent. Like, I'm anti-vax. It's my whole main thing. And then I think there's a video that went viral last week, at least in Canada.
Public breakout. Like
he shows up and
that was a funny video.
The people are playing music and getting ready because they're like, we're gonna have our protest. They're happy because this is what they want to do. They feel like this is the right thing to do, and they're just enjoying themselves. And he shows up and starts yelling at his supporters, like, "Why are you having fun? We're here to get our freedom back." They're like, "But I thought I was free to play music."
Yeah.
I thought that's why I was in a public place together. We're all doing this together and we're not vaxxed. I thought that was the whole protest.
If you want to protest, that's totally fine. Like you said, like that's your thing. That you're free to do that. But yeah, to fucking call all these people out, like your actual supporters.
See, that's what's wild too. Like literally, they're here for him. They invited him. Most of them probably came because like, oh, Chris Sky's gonna be there. They came to see him, and yeah, he just goes off on them. And like you're kind of saying, it's a protest. It's a peaceful protest. I know in our era, it's hard to imagine what an actual peaceful protest is because there's so much rioting and looting and blowing up small businesses. Like that just seems to be what we do these days. Now, not saying anything about those previous ones, but I'm just saying a peaceful protest is strange to us right now. We see people just having a drum circle and talking about what they're doing. You know, that's just so that people see them like, oh, what's this event? Oh, we're here because like that's how that's supposed to go.
Yeah.
These are the people we want to spread awareness for our cause. And that's totally legit. But he's sitting here basically saying, guys, here's my beliefs. You guys all support my beliefs. We all believe the same thing. But peaceful protests aren't doing shit because
fuck you.
all these rules are still in place because your peaceful protest isn't actually changing the law. He's wanting people to go to these businesses, go to the airport, and harass employees, harass people that are just doing their job. He wants you to go into these places and cause a problem. That's what he wants to happen because he thinks in his mind, if you don't do, I mean, it's not a, I don't want to say it's not a peaceful protest because it's not like he's inciting violence. He's not saying go like beat somebody, or I don't think he was like storm the Capitol or anything like that. But at the same time, going and harassing employees and workers at various buildings, that's not the same as doing a drum circle. I don't want to put them in the same category of level of peacefulness. He's being obnoxious. And he's trying to get other people to just go out and ruin someone's day so that they know that you don't believe in the vaccine.
Yeah, he's going
like,
with
what?
the idea like the squeaky wheel gets the grease kind of thing, right? Just like make noise, like fucking be pissed off because then that's the only way it'll get fixed. And it's like, what? Like, excuse me?
And especially in like, I don't know exactly how it's went like in the States or anywhere else, but at least in Canada, a great example of a peaceful protest that over time has kind of changed our entire country is Pride Parade. All it was gay people transgender.
Love that now.
They just went and danced. They got naked, they got clothed, they went on bikes, they had pussy hats, they did whatever they wanted. And they just said, if you want to come, come. If you don't want to come, don't. We're just going to do this for 20 years. Whatever it takes, we're going to keep doing this. And now they don't even need it. They do it for fun.
It's like almost a holiday.
It's no longer a protest.
It's a celebration.
And that's kind of it. Yet again, goes to the social media, because if they go and kick in a cake shop because they only let the vaccine people in, they're gonna get views because that's gonna be something that gets posted that, oh, look at these assholes. So then Chris Guy gets more followers.
Yeah.
It doesn't help the end goal, but it helps him financially now.
Yeah, it's the publicity. Because like, do you think he's going to all these things for free? Or do you think he's probably being paid to go to these events?
He's definitely
like
getting
there's some sort of money involved, I'm assuming. How is he making it around town?
See, the other day we talked about just collecting a check. He's like the opposite of that. He doesn't want his check. I mean, he does because he needs it, because I don't think he has a real job otherwise. But at the same time, he's like, the check's not good enough. We actually need to start a riot everywhere we go. Like, that's how he is.
Yeah.
Every other video of him is like, you know, him running from the police who are trying to arrest me, but everyone just like rioted so I could get out of here. Like, that's all I ever see from this guy.
Here's the thing. In Toronto, he's like a convicted meth dealer or something like that. Like, he has like an actual charge for methamphetamines.
Anyone surprised by that?
So he's like talking about like, oh, like they're poisoning our children. It's like, yo, no, you fucking are poisoning the children. Like, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is the hard part with it too, is what, like, people are making this guy the kind of head of the anti-mandate, anti-vax movement, whereas there's so many nurses that have been, like, especially, I think it was like a week or two, anybody in healthcare, at least in BC, was let go until they get their vaccine.
Yeah, it's a big deal right now.
These people they're not doing it, they're not getting the vaccine because they hate people or anything. They're just doing it because that's how they feel. But they're getting lumped in to people that go to the Chris Guy events. And that's the hard part, because you have the peaceful and you have the head of it, and somehow they always mesh because it's a lot easier to diminish what Chris Guy is saying and not what the nurses are saying.
Yeah.
I 100% agree, and I think that just goes to add to the argument that are his methods helpful? Not really. I think you have to be educated and calculated to actually make a change, and he's being obnoxious and impulsive. And
yeah, I feel like most of the head people are either just obnoxious, really loud, or scam artists. Like fake doctors giving out fake passes and stuff. And
the people actually trying to make a change are writing letters to their Congress, to their Senate, to their politicians, local politicians. They're actually trying to deal with their disagreements of the law and the mandates in court where it belongs, because that's the only way to actually do that. You can't just be causing a riot and expecting, a bill to come out of that. Like, what? Like, that's not how bills get written, not by looting the bay. Like, did you find your size, or were they out this week? Maybe try riot next week. Like, what? It's it's stupid. I feel like he's had enough airtime. We should move on.
Oh, man.
So,
I'm also triggered.
To somebody else that doesn't want to be the head of the anti-vax movement, but might be kind of pushed into it right now, is Aaron Rodgers. So, before I go into my part, I want to just know kind of what you guys know about it, if you've seen it at all, about what transpired with him not having the vaccine.
I have no idea who Aaron Rodgers is.
Sorry, I keep forgetting.
Okay.
So, former and last year NFL MVP quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
I thought it was a news reporter. Okay.
No,
yeah, I'm glad you corrected it.
Aaron Rodgers is a superstar in the NFL.
Isn't he on like CNN or Fox News or something? That sounds like an Aaron Rodgers kind of name.
He
actually hosted Jeopardy like last year, I think.
Oh God.
Yeah, he took
a
a little
got canceled.
He's a really smart guy. So like,
okay.
He wasn't the canceled one. No, not that one.
Right.
Well, he might be now.
No, but Aaron Rodgers, he's a future Hall of Fame NFL football player. He's known for being quite an intelligent person. And from what I understand, my knowledge of the situation is that early in the season, when all these requirements for this and that and vaccine status to dictate certain rules that you abide by as you operate in the NFL this year, he never claimed to be vaccinated, but he liked to be cheeky and use this word immunized as reference to the fact that he doesn't have the vaccine, because that's what vaccination would infer.
Yeah.
He used the word immunized because he looked to a third party type of treatment that was off the schedule, that was kind of like something that they concocted that no one really
Ivermectin
knows
or whatever then.
Well, honestly, I don't know. It could not. I don't know if they've actually said what he did, but he did a certain type of procedure that was backed by some doctors. And I think the news grabby story is that apparently he talked to Joe Rogan about it, so that brings in Joe Rogan's name into the mix. That
Stamp this moment. This is the one that goes what?
Yeah, exactly. But regardless of that, he continued to operate under the rules of unvaccinated players. He wore his masks. He did what he was supposed to do. So he followed the NFL's rules. He didn't get vaccinated. He never claimed to get vaccinated. The only thing that was slightly shady is, since he was trying to be so clever with his wording and use words like immunized, he didn't make any mistakes, except the one thing that everyone's pointing out is there is one moment in an interview where they're talking about unvaccinated players, and he uses language to distance himself from that group by talking about those guys, the unvaccinated. That's where I look at it and I think he kind of slipped up there. Like, he was cheeky with the immunization wordplay, and I would let that go because he didn't lie. I'm one to listen to somebody's exact words, and I think he was on the money until he distanced himself with his tricky language, and I think that is where the shadiness came into. But regardless, I don't really give a shit either way.
So the kind of backstory out of his mouth. So he went on Pat McAfee show, sports podcast, one of the bigger ones, and he made it known immediately. Like, the NFL and the Green Bay Packers both knew that he was unvaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
He had they have the whole situation that they you had to report if you were vaccinated or not before the preseason. He was appealing it because of the methods that he was taking. He had his doctors, whatever research, blah blah blah. But the first first and foremost, his main reason for not getting vaccinated is that he's allergic to ingredients in mRNA vaccines. So his doctor told him he should not take it because he's allergic to it. And at the
I'm
time,
allergic to dairy and I still fucking drink milk.
Yeah, man, the fucking cheese is blessed, bro. Sorry, God.
I feel that. But it's I don't know what I'm just saying what he said. So this is what he had used, and I know somebody else that's had this kind of same situation, worked in health kind of region, and that person can't keep her job because she can't get the vaccine. Doesn't matter. But so he was allergic to that, and then at the time was when Johnson & Johnson was still available, but it was taken off the market pretty fast when it came out in the States because of
that was like it was an MNRA or something like that.
Yeah,
right? Or?
that one was a different one. It was because it injected
like
a little bit of
way.
COVID into you, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. But so everybody knew what he was doing and how he was doing it, his teammates, his coaches, everybody. And his main points that he kind of made in the talk is that he did everything you were supposed to do as unvaccinated, but the unfairness between vaccinated to unvaccinated was kind of like crazy to see because every morning they have to get tested to go into the facilities if you're unvaccinated. Once a week you had to if you were vaccinated. Knowing that if you're vaccinated, you can get it, carry it, transmit it, doesn't really make sense. So realistically, the people in there, the safest ones would be the unvaccinated because they're tested every single day. So his main thing was basically saying, I get you guys think I was lying. I just didn't want to be the face of anti-vax. I didn't want what Kyrie Irving has, where Kyrie Irving is a basketball player. Same thing, except for he said, I don't want the vaccine. I don't believe in it. So he's demonized as he's not a team player. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't believe in science. Blah, blah, blah.
He's also a flat earther.
He
don't
is,
forget that part.
he is much worse. Yeah. Kyrie Irving is worse, but that's what it was. He didn't want to be lumped in to Chris Sky, Kyrie Irving, these kind of people. He just wanted to do his own thing. He's like, I've got my own research. I'm talking to every single person I need to. Everybody knows what's going on. I'm following all their protocols. He said the only one that I didn't follow was wearing a mask at the podium because I'm in a room full of fully vaccinated people, all with masks. I'm socially distanced from them, and I'm just talking into a mic. So I didn't follow those rules. They knew that. I've been doing it the whole time. They've all known. So his big thing was just basically saying, I get it. You guys don't like what I did, but I didn't do anything shady. I just didn't want to be this guy. Because the second that I got COVID, now I'm anti-vaxxer. Now I'm the head of this organization that I don't know and I don't run. So that was the only thing with that, is that there is a discrepancy between what was reported and what actually was said.
I totally get that because Kyrie Irving, like, no one thinks about the future Hall of Fame basketball player, the championships. No one thinks about how great he is. They think, oh, this guy's flat earther. He's kind of kooky.
That's all I can
now
think about right now.
Now he's a vax. Yeah, and now he's anti-vax. What a conspiracy, crazy. Oh, he's missing practice because of this reason, that reason. Like, everyone thinks he's a joke now. He's got so much to prove, despite he's already proved that he's an amazing basketball player time and time again. But if you look up his name, all you see is what an idiot people think
he's
is.
a great basketball player. He gives back to his community. He's put tons of people through university. He followed every single guideline. He's just like, I just don't believe in this one thing.
That's it. Gravity works differently for him.
That's why he jumps so high.
Exactly. Yeah. The Earth it's not round for him. There's different type of gravity.
Flat
that
Earth
he uses.
is a whole nother thing.
That's all I can like. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Do people like? I don't think anyone actually believes in it. It's either you're a fucking moron or you're a troll. I feel like the two demographics. And if you're a fucking moron, then you don't deserve that conversation. That's all I have to say.
It goes back to like kind of psychology if an expert says it. So you get one guy that has an honorary doctorate, doesn't have to be a real doctorate.
And
then so many people just start following it. They're like, oh yeah, this guy's right.
Doctor by the fucking like cereal company or some shit. I don't know.
I saw a TikTok where the guy's like, he had a picture of the sky from the space, And he's like, yeah, look at this. You can see this discrepancies. And the guy's like, oh, no. Well, and he's like, oh, it's actually just a picture of the sky from the ground. See how easy it is to trick you? NASA could easily do that. I don't make any money doing this. And he had like 300,000 likes and like all this stuff. It's like the basics. But because he did it, they're like, oh, yeah, he's right. And you'll probably get 100 flat earthers just from that video, which makes absolutely no sense to real thinking human beings, but some people they can fall for anything.
There's this thing called science. Like it works with a lot of scenarios.
Here's my conspiracy on this particular conspiracy.
Yes.
All of these people that get elevated to being notable flat earthers, and they go, and I'm not talking about Kyrie Irving. I'm talking about like there was like a flat earth documentary that was on Netflix like a year ago or something, 2 years ago. I can't remember this guy's name. It's like Mark Sargent or something like that. Does that sound right, Kyle?
I don't.
I
this isn't my.
He's part of his club.
This guy. I'm talking to Kyle like he knows.
I'm into good conspiracies that are made up by myself. I don't follow conspiracies. They're my own.
The fact that that's on Netflix though, like, why are we even giving stuff like that? The day
money,
of
dude.
like,
It's fucking funny though. You should watch it. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways. So this guy, I'm going to call him Mark Sargent. That might not be his name, but honestly, who cares? Loser anyway.
fucking Mark.
It's basically, it's him and this woman who's like, she's like an older woman, but she's like kind of attractive. So like, she's kind of like the sex appeal of their movement. Like everyone's like, oh my God, she's like the hottest flat earther. She's like got that kind of space. And she has like a podcast. So everyone like listens to this guy and like listens to her. And they're like the two-headed dragon of this like group. Now the documentary is full of things to laugh at and poke fun at, and even like the people editing and filming, they're mocking them without these idiots even realizing. Like, just a quick tangent on that, the one scene where they just like blatantly mock them, it shows the two going into NASA's like space museum, and as they're going in, they see like there's like this it's like some kind of not a ride, but like you sit in a chair and it's got a screen above you and it's supposed to like give you this experience, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And they're like sitting there and they're like trying to like touch the screen and it's not doing anything. Like, this is so stupid. NASA doesn't even have working machines. Losers. And they just like walk off. And the camera guy's like watching them. And then as soon as they like pan to them walking away, he like pans down to the seat, where instead of touching the screen that they were looking at, right next to their chair, there's a start button, a big red start button. And he doesn't, there's no talking, there's no dialogue,
Just
no
subtle,
narration.
yeah.
It's just like pans them walking away and then just pans to the start button.
Oh,
and it
kudos
cuts to the
that
next
guy.
scene. And I fucking peed myself. Like it was like a
Wow.
pause the movie so you could die laughing kind of scene. So like even like the whole movie is just filled with stupid. But my theory is that these people that get this notoriety, they get all the attention. And everybody that's like, there's scientists all over the world that obviously know that the Earth's not flat. But how many of them have the energy
Allegedly.
and will to go after these flat earthers and like actually argue with them?
Doesn't matter.
Because more often than not, you have to find someone that is also A, knows their stuff, and B, also has good arguing skills. Because what you're going to get caught up with this Mark Sargent guy is he's a dumbass and he likes to twist facts and he likes to make false equivalencies
what's
and
that
scarecrow
saying?
arguments.
So don't argue with an idiot because they'll drag you down to their level and win.
I mean,
like that's why.
an
That's
idiot-
why they think they're all right, because no one argues with them.
an idiot that knows how to argue, yeah, totally. But if you have someone that can argue back, you can easily shut down what they're saying if you know how to. But, finding someone that can argue them that's also a scientist, that's where there's not so many. And then you also have to throw in, like, this is a lot of effort for what?
Yeah.
Because here's the theory. These people get these scientists to come on and argue with them, and more often than not, they look stupid because the scientist is right. I think they know the Earth isn't flat. But because when they didn't know, when they were still under this theory, they got all this fame, they've got all these people supporting them, and now they were nobodies before. They had nothing.
Yeah,
they were
this is all
just
they have.
shitty creators that had no following or like a very small following and no one cared about them. But the moment they became flat earthers and became the voices of flat earth, they had an army of people, thousands that thought they were gods. Like this woman, everyone thinks she's like the hottest girl ever now because she's so hot and she's flat earther. Once she stops talking about flat earth, No one gives a shit about her because she's not.
Well, I feel
that
like that's
attractive.
exactly what's going on with Chris Sky, where it's everyone was following him, and now like the world's moving on. Like pretty much everybody's vaccinated, no one's dying. It's kind of like not a big deal. So now he's trying to shift the agenda, right?
Chris Sky falls into this kind of idea as well because you have absolutely nothing, and now you have so many people following you.
He doesn't have nothing. He was a meth dealer.
My bad.
He had a clientele.
Yeah, come on. People adored him. People needed him.
The community could not survive without his medicines. Nobody slept for 3 weeks straight. You know how productive that community was?
Oh.
They were the best students in the area, for sure. But they have all this stuff, and the moment they go, oh shit, you know what, guys? I was actually wrong. This is the truth. They lose all their credibility in their fan base, and everyone hates them, and they have to go back to being who they were before. Now, depending on who they were before,
they're the people that turned on the community at that
exactly.
point, right?
Now they've got a negative.
Yeah.
Because everyone that wasn't supporting them now just thinks, oh, you're that idiot that rode flat Earth for a while. Yeah, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
But the thing is like some of these people, like I don't know, like Chris Sky was a drug dealer, apparently. Cool. This other chick, she was a podcaster before, and I think she does her podcast now. But this sergeant guy, like he like straight up was like living in his mom's basement. I'm sure he's made enough money off endorsements to move out now, but like even at the beginning of that video, he talks about like living in his mom's basement.
Wow.
So you're gonna go back to your basement with your mom if you say that, guys, I've been talking shit this whole time. Of course he's not gonna do that. No one's ever wanted to sleep with this guy. He wore a shirt that says, yeah, I'm the real Mark Sargent or whatever the fuck his name is. Like this guy's an idiot. But now people are like, oh my God, Mark. Like, because he's the leader of the Flat Earth group. He's an idiot. So why would they? They all know it's a lie. These people know their conspiracy is bullshit, but they'll never admit it because then they'll have to go back to being normal again. They'll lose all their clout.
I'm frustrated.
That's why honesty is the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to be honest because everybody makes mistakes, but if you pretend you don't long enough, the second that you allow them to see that you made one mistake, that's when people are like, oh shit, it's possible. Let's look at what he's been doing. Oh, he's never said anything correct. He hasn't done it once yet. He's lost every single debate. How did we not notice? Yeah. And then you have to rebuild. And it's the best thing for you in the long run because like you said, if he does or whoever, if they know that they're lying, it's gonna eat away at them because they're gonna have to go on the screen, kind of like the Black Mirror episode when they had to push the bikes to get the electricity. Guy goes on to like argue it, puts a knife to his throat, saying that he's gonna kill himself, and they offer him a podcast basically. So he starts doing that for everybody, and then when it's done, he just puts it down and hangs out because he's realized lying and using this other moniker is way more profitable for him. So it outweighs the benefit of being honest.
Yeah, that's straight up. It's a wild world, and honestly, these flat earthers are, whatever your stance on anti-vax is, I don't really care. I don't think you're an idiot if you don't like the vaccine. But that being said, if you're a flat earther, I do think you're an idiot. I think you're fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's like we're all kind of walking down two paths where it's our inner selves and then like the egotistical self of who we think we should be kind of thing. And like in the same sense of even Travis Scott, like at the core, I'm sure he feels devastated about what's happening, but his image is just this partier and this hype guy. And it's just like he has to push this further agenda. So it's... yeah, like in order to feed his ego, there's not much he can really do about it, right?
Yeah, like this is a moment where he should be trying to push some kind of enlightenment, like, guys, we need to grow up.
Yeah.
But will he?
Yeah, because that's the honest answer. That'd be good for his own personal self and his own personal self-development. But in order to push that ego, you need to push who you think you should be.
This could be an awesome moment for it too, because this is a chance for him. He's like, this has worked beautifully for me. The exact formula that I've had has made me rich beyond like belief, and I'm still 23 and this huge situation has happened. I can now backtrack that and have nobody feel like I'm being a bad person for it. I can be like, hey, this was fun. We did awesome. We did everything we wanted, but we pushed it too far.
Yeah.
And now we know we cannot do that. So we have to do a backtrack. and now he looks like a hero. He can
Yeah, I agree.
by
It's not gonna happen.
by going back on himself.
Yeah.
He has a chance to look like the fucking good guy in the story. So hopefully he can. Kind of like what we said with Henry Ruggs. Like hopefully they can just kind of take the worst situation and figure it out. But let's throw it back to reality for a half second. So my
That's not where I live, man. No, where?
it's barely reality. We're talking end of Chilliwack Lake Road. So we're talking boondocks here. But
no.
so Monday I work really early shifts. Buddy calls, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be late. I've got a bear in my house. My wife just called me. There's a bear in my house."
Shout out to last
And
week's stories.
We're like, "What?" Yeah, like I was literally listening to our clip while driving, and we get the call. I'm like, "Okay, good luck. Hopefully, like I don't know what to do here, but so
you need that peanut butter in the house to give him something to eat.
So so I guess a couple days beforehand, he has a chickens and bunnies in the backyard. So at night he brings them all inside, but he leaves the chicken feed. So these 3 bears broke down the chicken coop, ate some of the chicken feed. So he brought it in after that. So apparently he forgot to lock the dog door, and one of the bear cubs went through the dog door.
Oh no!
And now the dog alerted it, ran to the family because it's his wife and his 2 kids. They run into the room, and there's no actual cell service at their house. They have Wi-Fi, so iMessaging is the only capability. He got home, and what he said was he grabbed a stick. He went to the door, and he's like, "I'm gonna be a hero today," and he kicks in the door. Ah! Bear's gone. It just left. The bear was gone by the time he got home.
Just got bored.
But he went over, and the Wi-Fi had been knocked over, and like he went to pick it up, and the cord fell out. If that cord had fallen out, they would never have been able to contact him or anybody else, and they would just had to figure out what they were doing. And apparently it was just the cub got in. But like what we were talking about, like this isn't supposed to happen. You're not supposed to have a family of bears in your yard. Is one thing that's even
porridge.
like, oh, look, I can see them out the window. But yeah, they came in, they took their seats, they pissed on the couch, they started watching Family Guy. They just had their own living room.
Oh, Yogi.
Wow.
It was intense.
They were just a little snackish, I can relate. When I was in college, I was snackish. I used to leave a loaf of bread, peanut butter, and Nutella just on my fridge in arm's reach so that I could be like lying in bed watching TV and be like,
oh my God.
There wasn't even plates. It was just crumbs everywhere.
Yeah. Depending on when your last haircut was, they thought you were a bear.
Yeah, exactly. It was fun in games until I met this girl. I started seeing this girl had a peanut allergy, and then I realized my whole room is like a murder plot for her because she would have died if she touched anything.
Wow. Wow. I remember when I was up visiting my parents way up north, they used to have a lot of wolves and bears. And I remember I was outside. It was like pitch black at one point. And I can just hear this like weird crunching sound. I was like, "Kate, what the fuck?" Like I'm like quiet as possible trying to figure out this noise because like you can't see anything. It's like way up north.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'm like sitting on the balcony, just like trying to figure this out. I'm pretty sure I was like smoking a joint or something like that. I'm just like, "What is that sound?" Later on, I was talking to my parents about it, and yeah, I'm pretty sure there was a wolf like eating a chicken or something like that, and it was like crunching bone. Like man, I still don't know because I didn't hear any chickens like freaking out or anything, but there was like for sure some sort of like bone and like chewing on something. It was fucked.
Damn.
So to this day, I still don't know, but I'm pretty sure it was a wolf eating something.
I'm imagining your mentality of like you're smoking the joint, you start hearing it, you're getting scared, you're like, I could go inside, but
yeah,
I gotta finish this first. Oh no, 30 seconds. Come on,
it's not done yet.
I gotta cough. Okay, now I can go.
Oh,
yeah, that's what that reminded me of. Just like, man, I remember like I'm pretty sure I was right beside a wolf one time.
That's wild. I did want to squeak in one last story before we wrap it up here. I think it was last week we talked about how TikTok could be hurting our youth with the ticks and everything.
Yeah, anything bad about TikTok is bad.
But today I have a different story where TikTok did some good. and I feel like it needs to be
Oh shit! I thought
acknowledged.
that's not where you were going.
I
I was getting ready to shit talk it more.
Change the mood.
There was a girl that had been kidnapped by an older gentleman, and they had been driving across the states from state to state, and she had learned this hand gesture that had been pushed in a viral video on TikTok that signified that you were in danger. And this hand signal, correct me if I'm wrong, you like put your thumb in like this and you have your hands like this. I don't know. It looks like sign language or something. I feel like that's something.
I've seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Black Power movement or something.
Anyways,
I think it's got to be a little higher.
Yeah.
Probably.
Keep that fist closed if you open it.
No, not that one.
But yeah, this girl actually she remembered that, and so she was doing it to people as she was driving down the highway, stuck in this guy's car. And finally, someone saw it and recognized it, and they followed them, called the cops,
Wild.
and this girl got saved because of it. And this guy's getting arrested
Wow.
just because she remembered some TikTok trend.
I'm trying to think of like
pretty
what
impressive.
he's thinking too. He's like, this girl's so fucking weird. He keeps like giving people like, yeah.
Right?
It's like, why is she fucking doing
What are you
that? Like,
doing, Spock? Like,
Yeah.
calm it
Well,
down.
he's sitting there.
Millennials, I
He's like,
swear.
man, I just kidnapped some 16-year-old white girl, and it turns out she's a Black Panther. Like, I don't
Yeah.
get this.
This is weird, man.
This is strange. I don't understand kids these days. That's so.
Am I
19
paranoid or is that person driving behind me really close?
yeah.
But yeah, that thing, it came about before TikTok, but it was obviously a TikTok trend as
I'd
well.
never heard of it.
It's that thing, and then there's also there's a couple different ones. I guess I don't know if you have it, but with a lot of people with their kids, they'll have kind of like safe words or safe things to say when they're in danger. Like if you get if you're gonna get
thing.
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, don't say that too loud. But like a comedian on a special, he said his kids know if somebody else comes to pick them up, the safe word is motherfucker, because no regular person that's gonna kidnap somebody is gonna call them a motherfucker right in front of everybody. So there's different safe words. So
I love that.
people had that one for if you're in danger, and then like the semicolon tattoo on your wrist is meant if you suffer from depression or like have suicidal thoughts. It's like if you just draw it onto your hand, it's supposed to be, I don't want to say it out loud, and I'm scared to tell anybody, but if you have it there, somebody that notices it can kind of bring attention to it. It's kind of like the last ditch cry before you do kill yourself is like, I feel like doing this, I want to do it, but I kind of want somebody to stop me. I can't stop myself. So there's different trends like that, and it's awesome when they actually work. Because, like you said, you've never heard of that, and there's at least a TikTok trend worth.
You say Ching Chong trend? That's what I heard. I was like, whoa. I know it's a Chinese company, but Kyle, it was ruthless.
No, that's Jesus. Man. That's pretty crazy though.
all the
I
things.
find that I'm trying to I'm picturing someone going out of their way to get a tattoo because they're depressed of like a secret symbol, and I'm the tattoo artist, and I'm about to put it on them. I'm like, you okay?
Yeah, should we talk?
Yeah, you want this? You want to just talk quick? Like
I like the needle.
I know what this means, but I don't want to have this conversation
Yeah.
right now. Nah,
$50 is $50.
I think the reason why I think it's so cool is because, like I said, I had never heard of this. And the ones that you just talked about, I've never heard of them till now either. But should I see those someday and I remember them, it doesn't matter if this helped 0 people or 1 person or 100 people. Like if it helps anybody, that's a win. So who cares? If it saves some person, it might be something some people think are stupid and it didn't actually save that many people. If it even saved 1 person, good enough for me.
Yeah. Everything's dumb until it's not.
Exactly. That's how we do our podcast. Everything's dumb until it's not. We're gonna put that on a t-shirt probably. I think that's a winner.
Yeah.
All right.
That might be the title.
Hey.
That might be the title.
Hey, all right. That's all we got for today, guys.
Yeah. If you like what you're watching, make sure to like and subscribe. Other than that, I guess we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we're
And
back at it
An
again.
apology to everybody for my voice. I don't know what's going on, but it just kind of died on me. At the
I didn't
beginning
even
there.
notice it. The only thing I noticed was him saying that his voice was
Yeah,
all fucked.
actually,
I'm like,
for
why
me
do
too.
you keep stalling and
it
telling
probably
us your
felt-
voice is messed?
It probably felt
uh,
really dry in his
Every
throat.
time that I'd start kind of speeding up is because I was trying to breathe. It just wasn't happening. But
That's funny. I remember when I used to drink, I'd get that lump in my throat if I was hungover.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, fuck that.
That only happened to me when I was like really thirsty, and I thought just like chugging milk would be better.
That's never the answer.
No, it was horrible. I was like pasty and dehydrated, and I was lactose. I think I just didn't know it yet.
It's crazy how many times that was his answer to everything.
Yeah,
like I'm going
I'll
to a
eat
party,
some fucking corn-covered nachos and drink some milk.
You know what? I kind of thrived on this really cringe like personality trait that I had that's the thing. I thought it was a personality trait. It was not. I would go to parties with like a jug of chocolate milk, and I was just like, yeah, I'm that kid with chocolate milk.
Straight 100p.
And
I got sick taste of music, and I drink chocolate milk.
I'd get like one or two people that would daps me up. Yo, you like chocolate milk? Sick. Same. Who doesn't? Like, just that one like kid that grew up.
What, apple juice?
Yeah, it was just like some weird thing, and I was like,
I'm gonna do that with fucking broccoli.
I embraced it. I just thought it was cool.
I mean, so I'm gonna go to house parties and just eat broccoli.
Yeah.
Like the whole fucking head of it. Just eat it raw.
See, I was a troll too, because we'd like be like playing King's Cup or something. And if I had a cup that like didn't have a marking, I would like try and like slide it in the cup when I was, oh no, got the king. I got to put some in the king's cup.
Ew.
And hopefully I was first so that shit could curdle.
Yeah.
But because I didn't drink, I don't even know why they let me play. I didn't get to drink the king's cup anyway because it was full of liquor. And they're like, they want me to play, but they also want to respect my boundaries. So like they didn't make me drink it. So I'm just fucking everybody's stomach up, and I got no repercussions. It was great.
He would do this during beer pong too. Like you'd be just holding your regular drink and you'd be playing, and he'd just come and pour it on the side, and you take a sip, and it's like, oh, what is that?
Yeah.
And then you're drunk, so you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would slide like Mio into somebody's beer, and it's like a big blue raspberry lager now.
Man.
Yeah.
He was a tough friend.
I'm drinking a couple beers with cigarettes in it, but that's about it.
I've always just been.
You're acting like that's less than chocolate milk. We're talking about actual things people drink. You're talking about poison sticks that just light on fire.
Yeah. I didn't know at the time, and then you realize, and you're not doing your beer, so you keep drinking it. You know.
There was one time Kyle. This is I think the most recent time Kyle had a party, and they had like, I don't remember what the game is. It's one where there's like 50 cups on the table, and you have to like
chandelier.
Yeah, chandelier. And you like bounce a ball or whatever, and if it gets in one of these 50 cups, you drink that specific cup. And I took one of the cups out of the package on the counter, and I filled it with like skim milk.
Oh my
and
god!
So these guys have been like putting back like shots of this, shots of that, and then there was that one guy that was so drunk, and I could see where every ball he was throwing was landing. So I just like low key, I just like put it on the table, and I just like kind of like looked away, and I just kept it really low key, and then I waited for a minute to see if anyone had acknowledged that I put it on the table. And then once I looked at everybody, and everyone's eyes was all like, they're just like focused on the next person. No one's suspicious. I'm like, oh, let me just reorganize these and push these back. And I made sure I put that cup right in the money spot. 2 shots later, bang, he hits it. And I'm just like, yes. And so he goes to drink a fucking, and I didn't even like think of like a shot, in a cup. It comes out to like that much or something.
Yeah.
That was the level of like everybody's shots, liquor. I put like that much skim milk in it. So it was like double. And so this guy, he's drunk. So he's just
how
like,
did he not look?
And so he's just like, oh, damn. He just grabs it and goes to slam it. Takes like a couple extra glugs because, it was a little bit more. And after that, he looked like he was about to throw up. He was like sick after. And I was just dying laughing.
And I love how you blame it on him for not suspecting that one of his friends would poison him.
I'm a bit of a sadist.
That guy's a fucking loser. He didn't even realize I sabotaged his whole fucking night.
And honestly,
this is fucking nerd.
You had a good buzz this whole night, but yeah, no, you've got a giant curdled bucket of skim milk in your tummy. Ew.
That describes our friendship in a nutshell. Is we just always complete opposites of each other. We always push each other.
Oh my god! I feel like we've hit after hours here. We said bye so long ago.
Hey.
Hey, hello, how are you?
Yeah, we heard the encore, so we're like, hey, one more story.
Yeah, just like Travis Scott, we came back.
Ooh, too soon? Oh, I didn't even. Oh no.
Fixing the post.
Fixing post.
I never put it in, anyways. It's always in post. I just use the visual cue of me pressing that button. I'm like, that's when it goes. That's the transition, baby.
Nice.